stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Tape starts with an ad for all the other old-timey live Disney VHS tapes that are like still in my bin. That's fun. From there we move into the animated classics montage. I've never seen either of these ads before. This has got to be mid-90s because there's a scene from Beauty and the Beast and a scene from The Little Mermaid, and I know I'm a broken record, but just imagine getting one new movie in the mail every month, something you anticipated and waited for and looked forward to. Compare that now to opening up a streaming service and being overwhelmed by content options and never letting yourself get fully engrossed because you always have that nagging voice in the back of your head that you could bail at any second and roll the dice on something that might be better. Honestly, we lost our way, folks. Hey, feature presentation. We get the opening strums of what sounds like Dream by the Everly Brothers, and I'm excited because Dream is legit one of the greatest songs ever written. But nope, it's a guy on a horseback. He rides into town at night, and there's a duo of bad dudes waiting for him in the shadows. The robbers mask up and they pull a gun on him, but then the gun falls apart, and the other guy tries to toss a lasso at him, and that fails, and the guy that rode into town doesn't even notice that these two straight up bumblers right there tried to rob him. Crazy. Inside the saloon, a bunch of men are playing poker. There's no gold left in Quake City, everyone says. The dude on the horse is now at the table. He's not staying. He's headed to New Orleans and he's dressed like the Undertaker. Some rugged guy jumps to the table and explains that he's getting valuables delivered by train to this city tomorrow, and he's not going to be here when the goods are delivered. Okay, his name is Winkle. And he and the dude in the black have a history. At some point, he swindled the Undertaker. He tells the Undertaker, hey, I tell you what, if you pick up my valuables tomorrow from the train when it arrives, I'll pay you back what I owe you and more. Mr. Donovan is the man in black. And although he lost in poker, he smiles and says, I feel like my luck is about to change. And he agrees. So we go through the music and the credits. Bill Bixby as Russell Donovan, Susan Clark as Magnolia Dusty Clydesdale, Don Knotts as Theodore, Tim Conway as Amos, David Wade as Colonel Clydesdale, and Slim Pickens as Frank Stillwell. I have no love for old-timey Western comedies, but absolute home run of an intro. Honestly, I would not have watched this movie in my life if not for this journey, and I'm already having fun. There's a family on a stagecoach and a full page of actors continues. It's such a trip seeing credits at the start. There's a song about the Apple Dumpling Gang, screenplay by Don Tate. The transport arrives at Quake City. Donovan asks the delivery folks if there's something for him. There is. It's 3 kids. The valuables are 3 children. I love this movie already. He doesn't want the kids. Donovan pleads his case. The sheriff and all his men are like, this is your problem, Donovan. You agreed to take the cargo. They're a bunch of orphans and then one has to pee. Donovan gets stuck with all these kids. This guy right here makes me hungry for chicken. So the guy at the poker game took the inheritance, and then Donovan agreed to take the kids, the cargo. So he stuck Donovan with the kids and took the cargo. The sheriff says, you jump another man's claim, you don't take his wife, women, whiskey, and you don't go back on a deal. Well, all right then. They all leave Donovan alone with the 3 kids, and one kicks him in the knee. The kid doesn't like what's being cooked and asks for apple dumplings instead. Hey now, the kids are just wearing him down with constant questions and lack of basic problem-solving skills, and I feel that. Some lady comes in with extra stew. She was either going to throw it out or bring it here. The guy tries to dump the kids on the woman. She's like, look, just get yourself a job and raise your kids. They're not his kids. He's got his feet up smoking a cigar, and the little girl gets up and hugs him and says, the roof is dripping on me, and she cuddles him and she falls asleep in his arms, and he's like, puts his cigar out because he's a good dude. The next day he's trying to pawn the kids off at his neighbors. No takers. He can't give these kids away. He takes the kids to one like dilapidated house and offers the kids to this horrible woman who walks outside onto her porch stumbling drunk like she's an absolute mess. She shoos the kids, smashes her beer bottle and says, I don't want no children, and goes back inside. And that is so weird because my mom never mentioned this guy stopped by that day. A stagecoach charges by and it's on fire. Colonel says, a family man is quite the responsibility. Go make some, and I was like, go make some chicken, you unhelpful bitch. He tells the kids to go do something because he has some sheep to clease. And he goes back to the bar to play poker. The kids start up some sort of haunted one-man band setup. It starts playing bass and drums and guitar by itself. It's weird. What's happening? They stop by a camp of like Chinese gentlemen who are doing everyone's laundry, and they get chased away and they find a mine at the top of the hill. Buddy is killing it in poker, and the Apple Dumpling gang are snooping around, and they see this guy winning, and they're going to jump Donovan again and take all his winnings once he leaves the bar. One Apple Dumpling bumbler gets his foot stuck in a spittoon on the way out. Glorious. The kids go to the mine, Moonridge Mine 2. The kids get into the mine cart, and it rolls off the tracks and rolls down the hill like Scooby-Doo. They roll through the Chinese laundry camp and destroy it all. They keep going, and there it is. They break through two men and a giant pane of glass. The two men are carrying as they cross the street. Are we going to see like an orange cart next? No. They keep going. They smash into that one-man band thing and destroy it this time. Cut to Donovan walking out of the saloon, counting the money. And then this mob attacks them. And they're like, you owe everyone money for all the damage your stupid kids did. That night, one of the kids asks, why do we have to go to bed early? And he goes, because if you're asleep, you might stay out of trouble. He has this thing, and he says it's, quote, a shining, cherished token of a lady's affection. Kind of missed what it was, but he's going to sell it. And the kid says, why sell that? Go get the gold in the mine. He says, there's no gold. And he takes a little girl to the outhouse, and the Apple Dumpling gang are hiding in the shadows. Like Don Knotts tells Amos, the Lord put his brains in with a teaspoon and someone jogged his arm. That's such a wonderful old-timey burn. The chicken man is out with the stew lady. Has KFC ever made stew? Probably be delicious if they did. He reminds her that these are the best days of her life and walks away. Weird. The dumplings are hatching an elaborate scheme to rob Donovan. As Donovan leaves, he sees the one guy being sketchy. Donovan just kind of casually pulls out his gun and smiles and walks away. Trump card! The bumblers bumble the plan. Sad trombone. Stew Lady stops by Donovan's house, and he tells Stew Lady that he thought he was going to get robbed, and she's like, oh yeah, those idiots. He's like, can I buy you a drink? And she kind of looks at him in shock. And he goes, no, not like that. I don't even think of you as a woman. Whew, fade to black. Next morning, the kids want to go mining so they don't have to be poor anymore. And Donovan's like, man, go have fun, whatever, don't die. See, he's already getting this parent stuff down. Isn't there a famous old singer named Donovan? Was he the Wanderer guy? He roams around and round and round and round. The Apple Fumbling gang hit the ground because they hear someone coming. They aim their rifles. They think they're being chased by a posse. They use that word over and over. These two don't want to get the jump on by the posse, unlike Donovan, who had zero interest in getting the jump on it. You know, you were all thinking it. As Amos and Andy are primed and ready to fire, the three kids casually walk by and wave at them. On the way to the mine. That's pretty funny. The kids put their shovels in the ground, like they each do one scoop, and the girl asks if they've found any gold yet. Then the mine starts to shake and rumble and collapses. Great special effects for the time. It's believable. It collapses, but also opens up other parts, and they see shining lights. They're like, there's another way out. Nope. That wasn't sunlight, children. That was shimmering gold and a whole bunch of it. Donovan is rich now, or so he thinks, and the bumblers want the gold as well. Mr. Roper, was that the landlord? This guy, was he Mr. Roper in Three's Company? He was in Three's Company, wasn't he? He says, getting that gold from the bank will be easier than falling off a log. I'm loving the old-timey quotes in this movie. He's careless with a cigarette and ends up lighting his, quote, rear end on fire, which is really funny, because in Three's Company, he thought Jack... Yeah, thanks for stopping me on that one too. You know, I gotta watch myself this one. It's probably for the better. Now everyone wants to adopt the kids to get their gold, and now Donovan is like, whoa, hold on, these are my kids. Haha. I love the plot of this. Honestly, this holds up. The Colonel's like, why don't you just marry Stew Lady? And bam, full family. Then they'll easily be able to legally adopt the kids if they're a full married couple. Her name is Dusty. That's funny. Colonel says, no two people have ever been married for a more worthy cause, and I want to be triggered by that, but I'm not. That's pretty accurate. The kids are bad-mouthing all their possible adopters. Mr. Leach will put you in a sack and throw you in the river if you talk too much. And Roddy will make you sleep in his shit. What?
We'd have to sleep in his shit. We'd have to sleep in his shit. We'd have to sleep in his shit.
His
We'd have to sleep in his shit. We'd have to sleep in his shit. We'd have to sleep in his shit.
Donovan is like, okay, I'll ask Dusty to marry me so you don't have to sleep in Roddy's shit. The bumblers attempt to break into the bank. This should be good. First, they go to the fire department to steal the ladder. See, this is what I mean about these old movies. This is gold. This is perfect writing. This is funny because of the situation. The more of these old live-action Disney movies I watch, the more I want to make a point about how these days kids' movies are all just quick cuts and physical comedy. Like, if they made this movie in 2022, they would just have a giant ladder already, and they'd be climbing it, and the bird would crap on their heads, and they would try to shoo it away, and then one would slide down the roof and crotch himself on a pipe, and the close-up of his pained face, then the other guy falls off the roof and hangs upside down an inch from the ground by his long johns as a dog comes and pees on his face, and "Who let the dogs out?" probably plays on loop, and it's just quick cut, quick cut, quick cut, quick cut. This breathes, this is well acted, this is funny. Oh, I forgot about the cutaway of a monkey going, "Roar." Okay. This, you had to be an actor. This had to make sense. Scriptwriters and directors are trying really hard here because they don't have available shortcuts like they do now. Donovan is telling Dusty he wants to fake marry her to keep the kids gold, and she's like, "You're not going to exercise your husbandly duties, are you?" And he's kind of like, "Oh, God, no. This is all smoke and mirrors, lady, to get the gold." No one in the city is a good person. Am I supposed to be cheering for the Apple Dumpling Gang? Or what are we doing here? As the Apple Dumpling Gang try to get on the roof with a rope and pulley system, the one guy accidentally hangs himself. And I'll be honest, seeing this landlord from Three's Company in a noose is something I never thought I'd see. The kids walk by and see Buddy, and the gag is that the other bumblers on the other side of the bank trying to pull the rope. So this guy talking to the kids acts natural, and then suddenly, poof, he soars up towards the roof again. They're like, "Wah! No CG." The next morning, we learn that the Apple Dumpling Gang lowered themselves through the roof into the jail cell in the bank and caught themselves. Everyone shows up and they have court right then and there. They plead not guilty. They're found guilty. They're sentenced to be hung by their necks until dead and an extra $10 fine. That's really funny for some reason. They let the duo out and they tell them, "Make sure you show up for your hanging." And then after they run away, the one other cop is like, "Do you think they're dumb enough to actually show up to their own hanging?" And the sheriff laughs and is like, "Possibly." So the plan was to just scare them, to make them just leave the city. Again, full marks for plot, for writing. Now we meet real robbers strolling into town who want the gold. These are not bumblers. These are the real deal. This five-piece family show up, and Dusty wants to marry Donovan, and the colonel is like, "You good with this, Dust?" And she's like, "I want the kids to get a fair shake." Which is a surprisingly current view on marriage. The colonel puts on his minister cloak and weds them right there. He pronounced them hitched. They don't kiss, they shake on it, and Colonel says, "That's it. I generally get $2 now." Donovan immediately says to Dusty, "Can you look after the kids? I'm going to the bar and have a drink." It's like real marriage. Dusty goes shopping and is furious to learn that Donovan just bought a great big bed. That means he is planning on exercising his husbandly duties after all. Girl, the expectations of this gal, seriously. Someone buying a fancy new expensive bed for the two of you to be intimate in? That's dating stuff. Sorry, hon, you're married now. A brand new bed for you. How about a beach towel on the laundry room floor? I'm joking. Settle down. She shows up at the bar, yelling and throwing things and embarrassing him in front of his friends like a real marriage. She's physically assaulting him, like actually trying to murder him, kind of. He tells her they'll discuss it when she's rational. Always what your wife wants to hear. He figures out that she's mad about, and he's like, no, I bought the bed for the kids. And she goes, "Why didn't you say so?" This is marriage right now. Am I right? Now we're back in court, and everyone in the city is there because they all want to adopt the kids now that the kids are rich. I love this movie. Now that Dusty and Donovan are married, though, they get awarded the kids. Oh, no! The original dude from the poker game returns before they can make it official. Technically, these kids are his cargo, remember? My jaw actually dropped. This movie is messing me up, how absolutely into it I am. Legally, these are his kids. Game over. Twist I did not see coming. We move on. Colonel leaks the route they're going to use to move the gold the following day. Now, Dusty and Donovan are married with no kids and a giant new bed and no gold. Wait, did Donovan actually mastermind this entire thing to bang Dusty? Wouldn't that be another twist? Dusty's all womanly and flirty now. I think they're planning on officially divorcing, but now suddenly legit seem into each other. The kids find and tell the Apple Dumpling Gang they want them to steal the gold tonight because their official owner just wants the gold, but if they don't have the gold anymore, he won't want them. And the kids, can stay with Dusty and Donovan. Again, honestly, the script is airtight. Back to the bank, it's about to get robbed by the real crooks. The kids show up and are like, "Hey, Someone's already robbing the bank. And the other bad guys grab the kids, throw the 3 kids, the 4 bank robbers, and the bank owner are all inside the bank, and all the robbers have everyone at gunpoint. They're stealing the gold when the Apple Dumpling duo break in, and they're like, stick them up! And the real bad guys stick the guns in the duo's face, and the one bumbler's like, oh, hey, we used to run together in a gang. Are you still mad about the time I accidentally shot you in the leg? And the bad guy goes like that with his pistol into his nose, and he's like, oh, okay, so you are still mad. The kids jump in, and it's an all-out brawl. They're playing hot potato with dynamite. The police show up, and now there's a gunfight between everyone outside the bank and everyone inside the bank. Colonel's in the bar, however, just tipping shots. Dusty's outside kicking with the shotgun. Donovan's like, what are you doing here, wife? There's 2 people moving a large mirror across the street, and it gets shot. Are they already lampooning the 2 guys carrying something breakable across the street trope in the same movie? The gang grabs the kids hostage, and so they start backing out of the bank. Suddenly, the bad guys go screaming by the front of the bank in a fire truck with the kids as hostage. Donovan and Dusty hop on horses and chase them. Some of the chase scenes are green screen, and the others are live, which is weird. This is music from like Big Thunder Mountain. Oh, okay, I guess the shots with the kids are green screen. That makes sense. Keep the kids safe. This is a great chase scene. Another epic fight scene as the good guys rescue the kids and run some of the bad guys off the road. They beat the living out of the others. There's too much happening, too fast for me to properly recap. But this fight scene is just perfect. Everyone is safe, and Dusty runs and tackles Donovan into the river, the only thing that's wetter. They continue making out when Colonel arrives, and suddenly they see an explosion from town. The bank has exploded. This scene, holy cow, they blew up the set. The gold scattered all over the city. Everyone is scrounging for the pieces of gold. The set is trashed. The bank owner is sad. Quote, my bank, my beautiful bank. Colonel says, oh, a man can fill an inside straight like you doesn't need a bank. What? Okay, I have no idea what that means. The kid's rightful owner shows up and is like, my gold's gone, you can keep the brats, Donovan. Inside the demolished bank, the vault falls apart and the Apple and Dumpling gang walk out. Donovan collects the award for catching the real gang leader. Dusty comes down in white and Donovan is smitten. They're married and rich, and they pile into a new buggy with the kids and ride off to the new giant, quote, plantation. He says he'll come back to the city once or twice a week to play poker. Dusty goes, wanna bet? As they're going home, they run into the Apple Dumpling gang trying to hitch a ride out of town. Donovan, oh, climb on. We end with a cowboy ditty. It's the Apple Dumpling gang song again. The end. I have a happy marriage. Those marriage jokes were for pure entertainment. I love my wife.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism